Hello and welcome. My name is Valerie Steffen, a part of Bright's training team, and I'm here to welcome you to your new workspace. Here, the idea is to help you get more out of your MLS. During the course of today's presentation, I'm going to help you check out what's new and emphasize the more personalized experience that you'll find on brightmls.com, where it's easier to get around, and you'll see a fresh new look. And the fresh new look is primarily what you're going to note is different from the site. I want to emphasize that the functionality that you're accustomed to remains the same. So rest assured, you're still going to have access to the tools that you need to get things done. During today's presentation, we're going to show you what you're going to see before you log into the site. Then, of course, we're going to log in. And I'll take you on a little tour of a few things that have moved around on the menu. We'll look in depth at your workspace, which is what you might have called your dashboard or maybe your homepage in the site previously. And throughout today's presentation, I'm going to interweave questions that we're receiving through the feedback mechanism that our support team is hearing and our customer engagement team is hearing, so we get those frequently asked questions taken care of. So when you go over to brightmls.com, the initial page that you see before you log in has a lot of links and help located right on it. I want to take a moment and pause to point out support and training as two important items. If you click on support, you can access our online help center as well as see numbers for contacting our support team at your convenience, our hours, our phone number, our email. There's even a link to chat with a support center rep if you want to talk to a person. I do want to emphasize the Access Online Help Center button. If you click on that, that's going to take you over to support.brightmls.com, which is our online instructions and tutorials. You can type a specific keyword or keywords, a question at the top, and that'll link you to the relevant step-by-step instructions, definitions, and related materials for that. So we did get a lot of questions related to things like where's the new agent training located, or how do I set up a concierge search, things that we won't really have time to cover in today's session. So I do just want to point out where you can find those within the site. I also want to point out the training item towards the top of the page as well. This will give you access to all your different training options, whether that's contacting our customer success coaches for some live coaching, exploring the on-demand library, seeing what classes are already scheduled or training opportunities that you have for a live virtual session, or access to our YouTube channel where you'll find a recording of today's session, as well as a lot of other helpful information regarding the new site and other tools and functionality on the site. So a new area to the site is the area that says Markets We Serve. And if you click on Markets We Serve, what you're going to see on this page is initially a market snapshot. And this is updated monthly, and it's going to give you an idea of what's wrapped up or what's available in the Bright footprint. So initially it's showing all the markets that we serve. You have your little map here, and it's showing the total number of subscribers to Bright, the number of homes listed, the numbers of homes sold, and the total amount of real estate sold during the month of January. Now, if you'd like to drill down further, you can click on the individual market. If you scroll down a little further, you'll see a market pulse. And if you click on the View Activity button, you're going to see, again, initially all of the markets that Bright serves and some more individualized data for the last previous completed month, which is January of 2021. And again, if you want to drill down further and see an individual state or market, you can just click on that individual item to do so. So this is going to include things like how many buyers were actively working with an agent, how many homes came on the market, the average list price, showings requested, open houses held, average days on market for homes that sold, how many homes went under contract, and the average sale price. And I think both this and the previous figures that I showed you are really great things to have, whether it's to include in your individual marketing, indicating your expertise in the market, or as something to include as part of a listing presentation, perhaps with a potential client. Now, when you're ready to log into the system, you can just click on the login button in the top right-hand corner. You'll notice, just like in the previous site, your menu items follow you throughout the site so that you can easily navigate between options. Once you log in, I want to pause here because we've received a lot of questions about what you see here versus maybe what you're expecting to see. And so a full and complete menu item here at the top. But what some folks are seeing is this abbreviated version of the menu. And you can see the menu is up here in the top left-hand corner. Now, the reason for this is that the site is responsive. Bright is really available for your use regardless of where you are and how you're choosing to use it. So you certainly can use it from a smartphone, a tablet, a desktop, a laptop, whatever it may be. However, the site responds and recognizes if you are on a smaller screen. So you still have access to all the functionality, but your menu at the top will abbreviate. So you'll get these 3 horizontal lines, sometimes called a hamburger menu. And you would just click on that item in order to see all your expanded options. And you'll notice here the widgets or the different tools on the site sort of stack up, so I still have access to them. My news item over here is a menu that I can expand as well by clicking on it. You'll also see that my login name has abbreviated as well. So nothing is broken, nothing is wrong. This is just the site responding to the fact that you are either working on a smaller screen, so you might be on a smaller device with a smaller screen, or you may have minimized a window or sized a window down so it's a little smaller, or the zoom on your browser might be set higher than is recommended for the site. So as I mentioned, you can absolutely access your additional menu items just by clicking on the 3 horizontal lines or expanding the news. But if you would like to see the larger menu and you have resized your options, you would just want to maximize your screen in the top right-hand corner, or you can reset your zoom. And you would reset your zoom by clicking Control and the 0 if you are on a PC, or the Command and 0 if you are on a Mac, and that'll reset you to 100. Now, if depending on your screen, if you're still not seeing exactly what you would like, you can resize or size your zoom down further by hitting Control minus, again on a PC, or Command minus. And you can do that multiple times until the screen appears how you'd like to have it appear. So if you'd like those items up here, you can work with them. And there is, in fact, a helpful tip if you are seeing the minimized menu that you can click on that'll remind you of this information. The first time you're coming in, you are going to get a pop-up, and it's going to invite you to take either a quick tour or a complete overview by video of the site. So those are ways to call out the different features and functionality and help you get a feel for the system. If you would like to do that, when that pop-up comes up, you can certainly click on either option. I will point out at the top of the screen, there is an option to take the tour later if you don't have the time or the inclination to do that when it first appears. You can always X out of the pop-up that you see here and return to it later. At the end of the tour, if you do take it, we do invite you to give us some feedback. You also have the opportunity to do that here at the top of the page. And we have made some tweaks and changes during the beta period over the past month or so based on subscriber feedback. So by all means, let us know if there are things you like or things that you are not crazy about. You can certainly let us know that. And that feedback mechanism is the best way to get that information into the right hands. So this help that's integrated into the page is something that we're proud of. We also want to call out that you'll see these little eye or information icons integrated throughout the page and the menus. It's a way to just sort of integrate the support or help information that you might need right into the page itself. So if you click on an eye on the widget, say for alerts and notifications, it opens a little guide or pop-up right on the page. Most of these have a video embedded in them, so you can watch the help and instruction right from the pop-up. There's also a little definition underneath and a button that says Learn More that'll take you to our online support center for additional information or help. And when you're done with that, you can always click Close or the X in the top right-hand corner to move on. Now, as I mentioned, we have received a lot of questions with regard to where a couple items are on the menu. So I just want to point those out. The first is within the search menu, and you'll notice your tools are still here. So again, it's mostly the look and feel has changed. The font is a little different. The icons that you're seeing with your additional resources are a little bit different here. But again, everything is the same. We do have within this page, the one that we've received some questions about is the address search. You'll notice that your address search is over here, but it still exists on the page. I'll also point out again that our information icons are embedded here in the page if you have questions about these. You'll also notice in the clients menu, here's another one that we've received some questions about, and it has a little information icon right beside it, and that is where you can access your carts and your favorite searches. So in the previous system, we did have another column located in here called My Dashboard. It had a series of links, but they all took you to the same place, which is the screen where you can find your carts and your favorites and your recent portal visitors. Essentially, all those My Dashboard items are now accessible under that new carts and favorite searches item. So it's just called something slightly different, but it's going to take you to the same place that you're accustomed to. I also want to point out that your login name is over in the far right. Again, the look is slightly different, but it again has the access to all the same functionality that you expect. Another one I just want to quickly mention is support. Support was previously located right beside your login name. Still have access to all the same features and functionality. We've just moved it over slightly on the screen. So those are your menu items. And again, I just called out those things that we're getting some questions about, and hopefully that'll help you find them better in the future. Now, what you see on this screen is going to be custom to you as an individual. So if you notice when we were in here a little farther back, when I was using a test subject here, you'll notice that there's the first widget up here at the top, and that is the alerts and notifications widget. And this alerts and notifications widget is just one of the ways that the site is custom to you as an individual. So your screen may not look like the screen in front of you, and that's because you may have or may not have items that are pertinent to your subscriber account, like the alerts and notifications that you see here. Don't worry, again, if you don't happen to have those items, never fear. Nothing is wrong. It's just you may not have any alerts and notifications. But let's take a look a little more closely at these individual widgets. Your alerts and notifications at the top are going to cover things like listing alerts, like maybe you have listings that are about to close or expire. It'll cover things like compliance notices. So if there's one for you to review, you'll see it listed in here, or billing items. So perhaps you have a bill that's available for you to review. If you want to see the individual item, you would just click on it and it'll show you the pertinent items. So for instance, if you want to see the 4 pending listings past their expected close date, you click on that item or the link that says review, and it'll take you to look at those items in my listings. Next up, we have your listing activity. And again, this will be specific to you as an individual. If you actually don't happen to have listings, instead of seeing buttons or listings and statuses, since you don't have them, you will instead see a series of links to take you to our online help and support center, where you can learn more about how to add a listing or what the status definitions mean. So related topics to that individual widget. So once again, if you would like to see, say, the 3 coming soon listings, you can just click on the button to go and review those items. If you would like to make an edit or change, you do have a link to take you over to go to listing management. And our next widget right beside it is the Market Watch. Again, this is functionality that lives within the existing system. So no functionality has changed, but if you haven't used Market Watch before, there is a little eye icon again where you can learn more about how to use this feature. Now, if you've never set up or customized your Market Watch, this is going to be displaying up-to-date information by status or change for the entire Bright marketplace. So you can always click the manage icon to go in and set up individual criteria for more of what you define as your specific marketplace if you prefer. You can also use the drop downs to change the property type or the time frame that this is displaying for. And if you want to see the 441 coming soon listings, you can just click on the individual item to go review those. Right underneath Market Watch, we have Concierge. Concierge, again, is an existing feature. Concierge is simply a setting that is set up for auto email. So if you've never used Concierge before and you're not sure what I'm talking about here, I will just point out that Concierge is what you see when you're setting up an auto email. It's just under settings. It's the little checkbox that says enable concierge mode. Now, if you are using that, this will display up to 10 separate concierge searches that have matches for you to review. So in a concierge, instead of auto emails going directly to the client, they come to you instead, where you can approve or reject them. So this will let you know the top 10 that have matches. If you want to view those, you can click on the individual item, like say Patty Smith's 2 concierge matches, or view client. If you do have more than 10, you can use the show all button to go and review them all. Next up on the far left, we have your hot sheets. So a hot sheet is a way to keep track of specific market segments. So whatever you have set up in the existing system is what you'll see here. You can update the time frame that your hot sheets are viewing for using the drop down located here. If you need to add or edit or delete an existing hot sheet, you can use the manage link to get over there to do so. And if you want to view the updates, you would just click on the individual item. Next up, looking at our workspace, on the far right is where you'll find your news and information. So we have a tab for the Bright News, which is the information that we're including in here for you. You also have a tab, just like you do in the existing system, for information that your office has posted for your office members to see, and also association tab for what your association that you're affiliated with is posting for updates and information for you to view as well. So thank you so much for your time and attention. We certainly appreciate it, and have a bright day.